Hi, and welcome to Can I Be Honest with Megan Coleman. On today's episode, I sit with Kayla Granucci. Kayla is a single mom to an almost 2-year-old little boy. She opens up to me about the struggles of facing motherhood on her own at such a young age, and how she was able to turn to her family for support and guidance. She bravely tells the story of how her life was forever changed after the passing of her son's father, and the ways that she deals with her grief. Her maturity is admirable, and the love for her son is undeniable. I am so beyond grateful she was willing to share this story with us, and I can't wait for you to listen in. Okay, hi. So, like I said, I just kind of want to give you the floor and dive in wherever you're comfortable and just kind of tell us your story.
Okay, yeah, I got pregnant with my son's dad. We were on and off kind of relationship. Everything was just kind of normal. He's a normal guy. Decided to keep the baby. He was super excited. He was so excited. We didn't really officially decide if we were going to be together or not. So it was just going to say day by day. Let's see how it goes. Fast forward a little bit. He, obviously being so young, I was 23 when I got pregnant, and so unplanned and in school, I was already nervous and on edge. I'd waited till I was about 11 weeks before I told my parents.
Oh, wow.
Before I told anyone, and I knew like right away. I knew I was pregnant. We kept it kind of under wraps. I was struggling a lot with like what to do, and he wasn't really there to help because he was panicking. So we both kind of...
Is he also 23?
He's 28, 27 at the time.
Oh, okay.
26, 27 at the time. So he's older than me. He's construction, works his own little thing, like he's great. And then we get to the baby reveal, and I was excited because it was the first time both our families were gonna meet.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, this will be good. We'll reveal the baby. It's kind of like breaking the ice. Like,
yeah.
Instead of just formally meeting, we're going to have just a baby reveal.
Yeah.
So we do it downtown. My uncle is an owner of Sacktown Bar, so we're like, we're going to do it at the restaurant. Everything's great. So we do the reveal, and he ended up drinking a ton. So he actually kind of just went overboard that night. You know, he wasn't handling it well. Not much of his family showed, so he was a little frustrated.
Overwhelmed, maybe.
Yeah, overwhelmed, because I mean, you kind of know my family.
Yeah.
They're ginormous. There's so many of them and all the friends and everything, so I think he was a little like taken back. Ended up drinking way too much, got kicked out of the bar, his friends got arrested, he got really physical with people, ended up driving drunk, so that night was a turning point for me. I decided to be a single mom. I moved from Truckee the next day to Roseville. Then he flipped even more, so it was very verbally abusive. I tried to work with him, like, just, you need to get things done for yourself and for the kid. And we'll work with it. You know, my goal was to work as co-parents. You know, I saw a good side of him, but a bad side of him was super exposed to people who didn't know him. So immediately that's that he's a bad guy, which he's not. There's good to him. He was sick. He struggled with drug and alcohol abuse. He struggled with bipolar problems, and these were all things that were just kind of shown all at once. So it was really stressful because I felt like I didn't know him, yet I was defending him. Yeah. So it was conflicting. I got to the point it got so verbally abusive, and if he's physically abusive to other people, I was starting to get nervous. Yeah. I was like, I can't put myself and my health in jeopardy because I am pregnant. And it took a lot for me to move back with my parents. You have so much pride when you move out. You know, you're like, oh yes, I did it, and then you have to move back. But they're so great. My parents and my family are like the biggest support system I've ever had. But it started to get really, really nasty between he and I. threatening text, threatening to me. It was never about our son. It was just always like, you're a terrible person, you're doing this. So I was consumed with being told how bad I am when I'm trying to, you know, have this baby.
Yeah.
Fast forward to when he was delivered, I did not invite him to the delivery. I told him I'd call him when he was here. I said because he didn't get any better. He started dating another girl with kids.
Oh, wow.
So I started to get really, angry, not even jealous. I was like, it's just, you're taking care of 2 kids that are not yours, and you won't even send a diaper. Yeah. You know, like I never told him he couldn't show up at the house. So
and that was his own choice.
Yeah. So I was mentally just beating myself up because you just get abandoned and you think you're not good enough and your child's not good enough, and like I don't want my son ever to feel like he's not good enough. So I had him. I did as I told him. I told him, look, you can come see him. Yeah. He's here. I told him 2 days after I had him, because when I was in the hospital, I became septic. So I was really sick. Yeah. So I had to spend an extra day, almost 2 days, like a day and a half at the hospital. And I wasn't really thinking about messaging him. I was like, it's not on my mind right now. Yeah. So I finally told him when I got home, the day I got home. He didn't answer for 3 days. Then he calls and he's like, sorry, I didn't answer. Let's work in. I'm like, okay. And then I told him, I was like, do you want to meet? Like, this is your chance. Like, here we go. And he didn't answer for 2 weeks. So I said, nope. So I didn't put him on the birth certificate. And I called him and I said, look, you have the choice. I didn't want to bind you in this, like, financial decision that you can make, because I highly doubt you want to do child support if you don't want to see him. And I was fine on my own and with my family. And he's like, yeah, I want to do that. And I was like, if you go get your name on the birth certificate, we'll talk. And like, we need court to figure out what we're gonna do. Yeah. Never did it. I would just continual verbal abuse. I talked to him maybe a couple times. I would respond. I would just be like, stop, you know, like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Christmas, he called me. That was Christmas Day. He just wanted to talk to his son, and I wouldn't let him, but I like talked to him and I said, I hope you have a good day. I mean, Christmas spirit, you kind of feel a little like bad. He was by himself. So I talked to him, and that was the last moment I ever spoke to him, because in April he passed away. So he had basically his lifestyle caught up to him and he couldn't handle it anymore. And that was my absolute breaking point, because the whole time this was going on with my son, I had absolutely no connection with my son. I was so distracted. I was so like just upset and like angry that I just, the whole time, because he was about 8 months when he passed away, I just did not want to be a mom. I was over it. And so when he passed away, I got even more angry. Yeah. I was like, no, I felt like he got the easy way out. I was like, you never got to experience how hard this is. And he didn't care. I never got to say what I wanted to say. Yeah. I never got to tell him how angry I was, how much he hurt me, like how much he hurt his son. I never got to say anything. And his family, I mean, I think when he was alive didn't really reach out, because I don't know what he told them. Yeah. The appearance is more, I took his son away from him, when there's 2 sides of the story. Of course, they're not going to know what he said to me. Right. Or what he did to me. And so his family was not a part of it. And so going to the funeral was really hard, because I go in as the bad guy, and I'm bringing their son who looks, my son that looks identical to her son, you know? So it was kind of a wake-up call for everybody. But it was definitely the hardest thing that my son and I will ever have to go through, even though he won't remember it. But now it was just going from grieving to like, I need to focus on my kid. I need to get that connection. And it took probably till after his first birthday, maybe 1.5, that I actually felt it. Like I had to like really focus on like being a mom. I had to be like, okay, I have to do what's best for him. It's not about me. It's not about him anymore, because even though he's gone, I still let him kind of make decisions, you know, even though he's not even here. I was like, I felt I wasn't a good mom, even though, you know, everyone's like, you're doing great. You're like, no, I don't feel like I am, you know, like I'm not here. Like I'm not mentally here. So I went through like crazy postpartum depression, and that's when I started my blog. And I was doing that, and I took that down when he passed away, because I got like, it wasn't very positive about him. So I was like, I'm gonna take this down. But it was interesting when I did that, how many people contacted and were going through things like that, and how postpartum was super real. Like I was not ready for it. And I would go to doctor's appointments, and they would be like, you're red flag for it.
Oh, really?
What's going
they
on.
Recognized it.
They were like, they set me an appointment with a couple like psychologists, psychiatrists, wherever, like right off the bat, because they kind of knew and I didn't know. I was like, no, I think I'm fine, like I think I'm okay. But I did realize I was super lucky, really lucky to be here, and my son to be here, because I'm not gonna go into detail, but what I went through, I could have easily miscarried. I could have stayed
like
there.
The stresses and stuff too,
easy. Or if I stayed there and he got physical, things could have got really bad. And it just tore my relationship with everybody, including my kid. So it was terrible. Thankfully, like now, kind of introducing my son to things like his dad loved, kind of is comforting to me now. Even he looks identically like him, which is terrifying, but comforting, you know. You're like, okay, like it's kind of cute, like it's like he is living through his son. There was good to him, he just was sick. And it's fun now, like kind of watching my son, the dynamics that I saw in him. So I am the one person who can say the good of his dad. Which now it's like, well, that's my job now, you know. Like obviously he's gonna know everything that happened, but he's also gonna know, like, there's a reason we were together, you know. But it definitely added on to the daily struggles of parenthood. I'm sure that you understand. Like it's crazy, you know, like you're just on the go constantly. Like, and it was hard balancing single mom, nor just like a normal single mom, with, you know, that side. And I like still deal with it today, and I will for the rest of my life. But I'm super thankful that it happened, to be honest. Like people ask me all the time, you know, like, would you change anything? And I'm like, honestly, like, no. I would go through it all over again. I would, if I had to do it over again, I would, you know. And it sucks, but I would. Like, I wouldn't be excited about it, but I would do it. But it's just, you know, how much you love your kids. Like, it's insane. But now it's just balancing kind of the normal single mom things now. It's
like what? I've
got a job Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. I work for an orthopedic specialty center, and you know, the difference sometimes that I get angry with, or if like I have that meltdown, you know, you get random meltdowns all the time. And it's just like simple things, like if I'm cooking dinner, I don't have that person to pick him up. You know, I don't have that person to just distract him while I'm doing little things, or can you put him in the car while I go pack everything? Like, it's little things like that that I start to get angry, because it's hard. I mean, his attention is completely on me all the time, and it's all he has, so I don't have that shared attention with another half. But when I went into this knowing to like this is a possibility, so I knew when I got pregnant that
I mean, obviously you didn't expect what happened, but you
No.
kind of went in knowing that
I made the
he
decision.
might not be involved.
Yeah, I made the decision as if like I were a single mom.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this.
It doesn't make it any easier.
No,
but, yeah.
but I did make it. So
Yeah.
it's like I made that decision.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's little things like that. When I come home, you know, I'm exhausted, and it's just your attention is constantly on him, which at times is hard, you know, like I'm just kind of like, gosh, 2 seconds, you know.
Yeah.
We share a room, but I don't sleep in there. Because he won't sleep if I'm in there. He'll just wake up and he'll have to sleep in my bed, which is miserable. I can't handle it. So I sleep on a couch every night. It just works better, you know, and it's hard though. I mean, I'm in a household with my parents and my brother and my sister and my kid. So I don't think I've had any privacy for about 3 years almost now.
Yeah, because when's his birthday, Dawson?
August 5th.
So and he's going to be 2, yeah.
And I moved in while I was pregnant. But so I go through things like that where I like get really kind of snotty. And I'm like, I just want to be alone for 2 seconds.
Yeah, understandably.
And my parents are like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're so great.
They are. Yeah.
So have they just been like
they're infatuated
game changers?
with him. Yeah. Like they're more than grandparents. They're just role models. I don't know what they would do if I left. That's how tight they are with him. They absolutely adore him. They've adored him since I got pregnant. I mean, everyone knew I was gonna have a boy, so I knew I was like, gosh, I want a girl, but I know it's a boy. They're like my rock. I don't know where I'd be without them. And they've gotten me through a lot. You know, they went to the funeral with me.
Oh, I was gonna ask that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They like. And that was hard for them, you know. They were like, my dad was like, you treated my daughter terribly. And so they were angry. I just remember there was like a moment in the car we had together, like, oh my God, we did it. It's done. Like it was almost like we can move on, as sad as that is. Like we can finally have this life with this boy and make it a good one. And I like take so much in pride, like seeing my son and making sure he's exposed to the good, you know. But that was definitely hard for them. It was definitely as hard on them as it was as hard on me when we were all going through that, because you know, you kind of start like going at each other. I mean, they were like just so protective and wanted the best for me, but yeah, I was in limbo with him. You know, I was like, I care, I know I've been treated bad, but I'm human, you know. Like I'm almost like that person who's like, I want to fix it, I want to make him better, and I couldn't. I had no way of doing that. And that was probably the hardest. And a lot of me, and I can't speak for some of his friends, but it was hard watching him go down that route, you know, because a lot of people had to leave. And it kills me. I mean, it's probably the hardest looking at a little boy, almost too, knowing like, oh my God, your dad's not here, you know, and I like dread the questions. But I'm happy because I have every single answer. I have every answer he'll ever ask me. But no matter what, like I used to get a lot of flack on since I did my blog. So then I was like posted something when he passed, and people were like, you don't really care, like this is like, you know, like you're just doing it for attention. I'm like, no, like you don't get it. Like I don't agree with what he did. I honestly don't feel he's not a good person generally. No, he's not. But I have a kid with him. You know, like he's half of my son.
And you had a relationship with him prior to that, so you know him.
I do. I know him on different levels than other people do. And it was hard. It was I even talked to like other people that he dated, and they would, after I wrote my blog, like a couple people that he dated reached out to me, and it was like the same story. So that made me not feel crazy,
Yeah.
you know, because he would make me out to be like, I'm this insane person. Like, this didn't happen. Like, we didn't date. We weren't doing this. And I'm like, then, okay. Like, all right. Like, I'm a little confused. You know? Can't really deny it.
Yeah.
But he did, like, treat others not very well, and so when I heard
a pattern
that,
for him, yeah,
you know, usually I'd get mad, like, oh great, he dated this girl while I was dating him, but I was like, no, like, we didn't know, but have this, like, similarity and, like, this common ground, and it probably helped both ways.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, we're worth it, you know. He just didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know? Now it's been a little over a year that he passed. Like, a lot of people have reached out, friends of his, family of his, they have reached out now, and they follow him, and they do care, you know. So we finally, it was hard because I didn't want to reach out with them immediately after he passed, because it's a very tender time, and I don't think anyone wants to hear, like, negativity about, you know, their loved one.
Mourning him,
So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But now they've reached out. We've had a couple discussions with some of them, and they're a little accepting, and they're very grateful because I have, you know, taken care of their family somehow. I mean, I am happy. That's kind of helped me.
So, like, even, like, his family?
His family has reached out now, and it's nice. It's comforting. I mean,
so
I don't know.
We'll get to know them? Or?
I don't know. You know, I'm kind of taking it day by day.
Yeah.
It's going to be really difficult for me to obviously build a relationship if I decide to. But, you know, if we do, it's going to be obviously a conversation with me first.
Yeah.
Be like, hold on. You can't just jump in. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I will.
We'll
I want to say.
It's a chaos of a story.
Yeah, I did.
Short version.
Yeah. I did read your blog when you posted it, because, I mean, nobody has to share intimate details of their life on social media at all. It's not expected, you know, ever, but naturally I was very curious, you know, and so I kind of, like, I remember when you announced your pregnancy, actually ran into your dad at the grocery store the day before you announced, and obviously you didn't say anything to me, but I was like, hey, how is everyone? Like, I had Maddox with me, I think, and I was like, how's Kayla and stuff, and he was like, good, she's back, I think. You might have been. But and then the next day I was like, oh my God, I just saw him yesterday. I had no idea.
I know. It was a big secret because I didn't announce it till about 20 weeks, close to.
Yeah.
It's obviously a very detailed story that I don't need to go into, but I did the blog originally more on, like, at that time, like, verbal abuse in that reality, because that was kind of my point, because I know a lot of women that have gone through relationships like this that mentally destroy you, you know, and it does have impact, and because I feel like that's kind of ignored. I mean, physical abuse obviously is one thing, but abuse is abuse to me, and it's definitely a factor that leads to physical. So that was kind of like my awareness of a way to show, like, people can get out when given the door. I knew the whole time that I was being ridiculed and verbally abused, but I had that sense of, I wanted a family, he cares about me, because it's constantly negative, but then he'll come back with a positive, and it sucks you back in. It's very addicting, and it makes even the lows really low, the highs really high. So it's a hard to find a balance in your relationship when you go through it with just knowing you're just being mentally abused. It's crazy. So when I found my opportunity, and after the baby reveal, and my parents said, hey, you need to come home, I didn't even hesitate. I was like, I know I need to. And they were scared I would have said no. They probably would have intervened if I said no. And I was like, yeah, I need to go. And I did. And so when I did the blog, I just kind of wanted to make an awareness, like, girls and men, you know, you can get out. Like, you need to, like, take that opportunity when given to you. But there's also people, if you were going through it, even going through like an alcoholic or drug abusive relationship with someone, there's people that know how you feel. It's a very conflicting state to be in, because you care so much for this person knowing it's a toxic place to be.
Yeah.
And it's scary because you could live that lifestyle, you could turn into that, and morally I like knew myself and I was like, I can't, that's not me.
Yeah.
But if it weren't for my parents, I don't know, you know, that's what's crazy, is that they're like a saving grace, because I don't know, I could have been sucked into that, and it's so scary, just knowing that. And if I stayed, so when I did the blog and the outreach I got from other girls that I knew and didn't know, it was just kind of empowering.
Yeah.
To know I could either like help someone in a way, just like through a message, but also like people that have gotten out before could say, oh my god, like, yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like motherhood, parenthood, people don't talk about the lows. Like,
yeah.
I remember being pregnant and I was like, oh my god, it's the best time ever, like, you're so excited, and it's like, I hated being pregnant. I hated it. I was like, oh my god, no. It's like, no, this is terrible for me. Obviously I had like things impacting it differently, but I'm like, god, this
just didn't enjoy it.
No, I didn't. I was like, god, and I didn't have the time to though.
Yeah.
And but I also remember like going in to after having the baby, and like I went through all these classes to get ready for like having a baby, but you don't know after. Like, no one talks about like the difficult time after. Like, it's just like a hidden secret. Like, don't talk about it.
Yes, that's like the number one thing when people are, I'm like, do I tell you? Like, I really want to tell you how bad it sucks. Like, because I wasn't prepared for that. Like, it was rough.
And that's what's hard. Like, when people ask me, like, I have a coworker who's pregnant, and I always tell her, because she asks me questions and I always sound so negative, but it's like, I'm getting you ready. You know the good though. Like, you're well aware of what the good is. And she'll like ask me these like questions. I'm like so honest with her, and I'm like, yeah, see, the first year I hate it. Yeah. It's like, keep baby alive. But there's so many frustrations, like when it came to breastfeeding, when it came to just being like, you feel trapped in a home. Like, it's, I can't imagine with two, but like at one I went crazy. I went insane. I remember there was a moment, I think it might have been a couple months in, and I'm still on leave, and I walk downstairs and my mom's getting ready for school, and she looks at me and I'm holding this crying baby. I just am crying. I'm like, just tears. I'm just like, I can't. And she's like, grabs the kid and goes, go upstairs, go sleep, go upstairs. And I was like, okay. And I was like, are you sure? Because I battle too with, since I am, you know, a single mom, it's hard accepting help. Because I hate asking. Like, they live with me, they need a break too. So I hate asking. Like, can you watch him? Can you do this? But I let her take him that day. I was like, please take him. And I slept all afternoon. She took the day off, and I came down, he was happy, and I just like remember that moment, and I was like,
just so necessary.
So tiring. And it was just hard, because I didn't have the helping hand at night. Like, I remember being frustrated, like, go get the baby, and I had to go get it. I had to, you know, like, pump or do whatever, and it was a vicious cycle. And he didn't sleep through the night probably till after a year. So I was like, and people don't get, like, I saw people, oh, my baby's sleeping through the night, like, a month or two in, and I'm like,
yeah, that was, Maddox was a really easy baby, and Oliver is not. Now I understand why people talk about being exhausted, like, I get it.
He was such an easy baby, besides, like, not sleeping. But other than that, like, I probably just like you, I was blessed with the happiest baby ever. You know, I was already crazy. Like, some guardian angel was like, okay, no, we're gonna give her a good baby. But it's funny, because if anyone like says, oh, just wait, if you ever have another one, it's probably like the worst. Like,
so what does that look like for you? Do you even have those thoughts at all? Or
oh my god, It's a question that pops up all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone feels like they want to ask me.
Yeah.
Randomly too. I'm like, I'm not even with someone.
Right? Yeah. Like,
it's been really hard for me to date.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been really comfortable doing that. As a single mom, so young too. Like, I'm only 25, so kind of going into that, if I date, obviously it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
And 25, it's kind of a wishy-washy area.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't really thought about it, but I want another, but it would take so much.
Oh yeah.
It would take so much.
But you're open
for
to
me.
the idea one day.
Yeah. I would be open to the idea, but I've kind of just gone through just happy with him.
Yeah.
I don't really expect it and don't really wish for another.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I don't know what my future holds.
Yeah.
You know, if I find someone that happens,
it's just
it
so
happens.
crazy that you're 25 and the life experiences that you've already had. Like, that puts you...
2017 was an interesting start of my life. I had a quarter life crisis.
Yeah. But it just puts you in such a different place than anybody your age, really.
It's changed me tremendously. But it is hard to... that's something else I battle with, is finding someone to relate to, because I'm so young. You know, people honestly don't deal with a death like that very young, or it's just, it hits you. I've never felt grief like that. I didn't know what grieving was like until him, and I still am, you know, I will for the rest of my life. But I haven't lost anyone really close to me either, enough for me to feel that impact. Yeah. So when I lost him, I truly related to a lot of people that, to a different level, you know. I don't know if you know Brandon Bridges' mom, but she,
I don't know her.
Yeah, she has been, you know, I was friends with Brandon for a really long time, but the relate I have with her now, it's like, I know like how you're feeling, so it's easy for me to be able to communicate with these people who have lost someone. So now I know what you want to hear, you know, like I know what to say, and how to act on it, because grieving is crazy. It's dark, you know, but it's definitely molded me to kind of help people in a different way. Like I said, I wanted to help him, I wanted to fix him, but now it's like I'm able to aid other people differently. Yeah.
Do you know, this is a little bit off topic, but do you know your Enneagram number?
No.
Oh, you should take it. I feel like you're a 2.
Interested in
And then I'm calling it now, I think you're a 2. I'm a 2.
Really?
But just the way that, you want to help people and stuff.
All the time.
Yeah. And the way that you stayed in a relationship, even after recognizing that it was unhealthy, because you were so empathetic.
Yeah. I just, like, my mom always says too, she's like, you just pick guys and you want to fix them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's what my parents used to always tell me too. Yeah.
I was like, at first I'm like, no, and now I'm like, yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, because I mean that's not what you're thinking at the time.
Yeah, I'm not like,
I'm
gonna
back,
fix
you're like, oh, I guess that is what I'm doing. Yeah.
But, and it's kind of true, because I remember he would always tell me he wanted family. Like, he wanted this family environment, and I've always had that. Is that not
what he came from?
Not as close. Yeah. You know, I don't know exactly the history, but I know enough it wasn't what he wanted. Yeah. And what I had with my family is what he wanted. And so when I exposed it to him, I was just like,
and that feels good.
This is your ticket.
Yeah.
Because my parents are really accepting. You know, my mom was just like, I remember when we were getting ready, like, and things were okay, she was like, have him stay here after the baby, like, all this stuff, he can live here for a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, not everyone does that.
Yeah.
They barely know him, you know, like, because we didn't live here, they never saw him. So it was hard for me to watch someone who actually had a way out, and they didn't take the opportunity. Yeah. So that killed me, and made me kind of feel like helpless in a way, but I can't do anything. I can't make his decisions. But yeah, it's hard. It's I always like go back and forth constantly every day. I'm angry at him, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not here, and But as rough as this sounds, you know, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it took a life to save two, because he saved mine and my son's. Because I know if he were still here today, I don't think I'd be okay. I struggled with just like the image of just him taking my son for a weekend. It was like I was on edge.
Yeah.
And it was just killing me. And I was like, what if he just shows up somewhere? And I was constantly living in this trapped environment and having someone else depict what I wanted to do without even being there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's insane.
Yeah.
It's like he still has this hold over me.
Like, even though obviously I've never been in your situation,
Yeah.
I feel like I can put myself there, and,
Yeah.
and just imagining my kids, you know, as a mom, and
It's just having someone you don't trust take them is
yeah, that makes you want
your
to throw
worst
up.
nightmare.
Yeah.
And I would go through like things in my head constantly when I was pregnant with him, just like, what if he does go to court? What if I don't get sole custody? Like, I was going through all of this during the whole time he was alive, was like getting ready to see him in court, getting ready for all of this. So we had to take record of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to watch what I was doing. I had to, and because he could have taken the simplest thing and twisted it. So I was constantly living controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And I was suffering and I wasn't doing well, and my family saw it.
Yeah.
And it was just hard for them to watch. So unfortunately, when he did pass, like I say, one of the craziest moments of my life was my best friend calls me and tells me.
I was wondering how you felt.
Yeah, so I woke up and my best friend who lived in Truckee called me and she's like, I can tell you something. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And she's like, Keith passed away. And I was like laughing. I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Okay. And because I would always say, like, this is the part that kills me still to this day, was like, he's either going to wind up dead or in jail at this rate.
Yeah.
So when I got that call, I just hung up and I started shaking. I started crying, but the biggest weight lifted.
I felt relieved.
Yeah. I was like free. Like, I got my life back. That's just kind of a glimpse of how bad it was. Mm-hmm. And I like never felt so relaxed in my life. Yeah. I was like, I get to make the decision for my son. I get to do it the way I want to do without having to worry. Mm-hmm. I get to live without being scared. I was just constantly scared. Like, his car would show up in front of the house randomly and I would just freak out.
Yeah. And
we'd just have video and he would just drive up and leave. And it's like, I can't live.
Yeah.
Like, it's just terrifying. So that was the moment that I was like, oh my God, like, I can do what I want. But my son's so happy. He's a happy kid.
What is he doing
happy.
these days? What's new?
He does not stop talking. His vocabulary and the context he uses his words is insane.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm like, you're 2 years old.
Yeah.
He loves cars.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed with anything with a car. That's new territory for me. But he's also a Granucci, so he has a ball in his hand everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. He's with my dad during basketball season, so he hangs out with the boys. He absolutely adores my sister.
Oh, really?
They have like this crazy bond. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so he's your typical almost 2-year-old. He's mm-hmm. living his life. He's so happy. He's just the best thing ever. Yeah, he's good.
Good. And how are you doing these days?
I'm actually better.
Good.
Thankfully. Yeah. No. This year actually has been great. Since I got my new job in March, that was a turning point for me. Hugely, and I've just been taking opportunities as much as I can to, move on, and mm-hmm. I feel really good.
Good.
Yeah. I haven't cried about it in a long time,
mm-hmm.
so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
It's like, okay. But yeah, no, I'm doing really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's just so much, and it's like I was really excited to have you share your story, because I think it's really gonna be an eye opener for a lot of people to kind of just realize, like, wow, and maybe there are like single moms out there. I think your situation is extremely unique.
unique, but I mean, I know a lot of moms too who your normal baby daddy that leaves immaturity but can come back and make a better decision. I still can relate to those people. Obviously it's a totally different kind of territory, but I get that feeling of just being abandoned, you know, no matter how it happens. So there's common ground.
So what did you feel like helped you the most to kind of cope? I mean, like, did you seek out any, like, counseling?
I tried, but I'm stubborn. I have, like, a lot of pride in, like, doing it myself. I probably still should go. But I don't think I did anything right, to be honest. I, like, turned to food. I turned to, like, I got angry. The only thing, like, I can honestly say would, like, give advice of what I wouldn't do. Honestly, like, I didn't handle it how anyone should. But just not dwelling in things you can't control. I couldn't control any of it, and I just buried myself in it. And I shouldn't have done that. And I need to listen to other people, outsiders. You gotta listen to why people have an opinion. I kind of took things a little too personally at times, and especially when I was kind of defending him. So honestly, it's hard to tell you what to do. But reaching out and saying something is the first thing. Just talk to someone about it. That just makes the world of a difference. I probably would suggest doing counseling. I did one or two sessions, and I was trying to go through, like, classes and codependency stuff. And I just kind of was, like, in group things that I didn't really find, like, a connection to, because they were all older than me, so it was just kind of be like, okay, like, I don't know. Their stories were different, but I remember when I went in and they were like, you're suffering from PTSD and all this stuff, and I'm like, great, but, like, how do I fix it?
Like,
I know I am. Like,
you're like, welcome. Thank you for showing up.
And it's hard, but it's hard, like, releasing such a big story, like, so much baggage in a way to people, because people run. So when I did the blog, I just wanted someone not to run, so that helped me. That was my way of, like, I got to write it out, but I also got to talk to someone. So it's just, like, letting it all out, and accepting the help.
What I was going to say is that I followed along on your blog, and I felt like, just as an outsider's perspective, just so you know, like, I didn't view it as you being negative towards him at all. Like, that's not what I took away from it. I just did. I wish I kept it up, but it was more the sense of his family, the respect for them. You know, like, I didn't want them to get. It was a sensitive topic. So it's not something you want to read. I know, obviously, having a child, if I were ever in their shoes, I don't want to read that while grieving him. But you're entitled to your life.
But I didn't know that.
And,
at the time, I was like, oh, God, I'm going to put that down. But, I mean, I've gotten a lot of people that are like, you started again? And I'm like, no. I'm tired.
Too tired.
No,
I'm going to take that
time
to write about.
But that helped me, actually, just writing it out. I know I do, like, little things, too. Every birthday I've just found things for me to express it. It was hard for me to express everything to my parents, to be honest, because they had a very different opinion. So when I would say, you know, I miss him today, it was hard for me to say that, because they were like, they don't understand why I missed him. And I do, you know, I do miss him. But I found different ways to handle it. Like, every year on Dawson's birthday, I write a letter to Keith telling the whole, like, about the whole year, what he's done, the good things that he's done. So it makes me feel into, like, he's there with him, because I want, you know, Dawson to grow up knowing, like, you know, your dad loved you, but he just couldn't show it. So little things that I've learned to do, like an ornament on the tree Dawson gets to hang up every year. And it's little, I've found that doing good things in his name kind of makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I don't have any cool tricks on how to get out of the situation and any tips, unfortunately.
No secrets?
No secrets, just don't fix everybody.
Yeah.
That's probably the secret.
I feel like you have, like, really, I mean, obviously, this is the first I've seen you in years, so I didn't talk to you during your pregnancy or after anything like that, but it sounds like you look great, you sound great, you're able to really articulate everything in such a way that it seems like you're in a really good place.
Yeah, I am now. If this were any sooner, I probably wouldn't have come. Because I wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Right.
But I'm able to handle the questions. Like, I met someone at a basketball tournament, they're like, oh my gosh, like, they knew about the situation, and they were like, oh, how's the situation going, where's his dad? And I'm able to say, like, oh, he's not here anymore, like, he passed away, and it doesn't hurt me. So I've definitely been able to move on a little bit.
Did that happen, though, in the beginning, where you just, like, people would ask you questions?
It was hard. It was hard to not, like, break down. I would start shaking. I would shake a lot. I would, like, kind of get worried of an opinion. I worry a lot of other people's reactions. And other people's opinions when I shouldn't. But that was hard to go through initially, the questions. People would ask me, like, what happened? Or the backlash on, like, how it happened. Like, people would make up stories on how he passed away and everything just because of my blog. And I'm like, no, that's not what happened. It was hard at first. Honestly, the whole year, it was hard to get through. And then it was a turning point this year. Definitely after the 1 year anniversary was a turning point. But
so recently.
Yeah, it was. I would say the past few months have been the best, for sure. But I don't see myself going down that hole anymore. The only good thing about him not really being around is I'm used to it. Yeah. So I didn't have to get used to being by myself. Right. So it was just moving on emotionally. Yeah, I think I'm doing it. Yeah, I think you're doing great. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Like, it's really brave of you, and yeah, like I said, I think you're really gonna touch a lot of people with your story. Well, I hope so. Yeah. If not, it's therapy. Yeah, good. Thanks for having I'm here. Me. Yeah, come back anytime. And can't wait to continue to watch him grow up. You say he looks just like his dad. I've seen pictures, his baby pictures. He does look a lot like his dad, but I see you in there too. There's so yeah. Thank you. So like the only person that's ever said. Really? I see it for what it's worth. Good. But thanks for having me. Of course. Yeah. Like I said, anytime. You're welcome to come back and sit here and talk. So too.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe.